Now, Jagadish Pandit and Hiranya, they were very best friends of Jagannath Misha. They lived about 2 kilometers away. But little Nimai wants the food that's offering to Vishnu. So Jagannath Misha had to go all the way there and said, I don't know what's happening here, but my little son wants the food that you're offering to Vishnu, otherwise he's going to cry. He's crying for your food. And Jagadish Hiranya, they were shocked. It was too much amazing to them because it was Ekadasi, and on that day, special, they had prepared an entire feast for Lord Vishnu. How possibly could this little child know about this? And they were thinking in their hearts, there's only one way he could know that this food's being offered to Vishnu. There is not a single person in the entire universe besides the 2 of us that know it's offering to Vishnu except Vishnu. So this child must be Vishnu. Let's bring him the food. So little Nimai was crying, and they brought the food, and as soon as he saw the food, he stopped crying. And Hiranya and Jagadish were watching, and Jagannath Misha and everybody, and little Nimai ate a little of each preparation. And he was so happy. He was smiling, and he started distributing it to everybody else. One day, should I end? I'm sorry, I don't know if you said no or Hari Bol, because it sounds... Okay. Well, it's just... So if you want me to continue, say Hari Bol. Okay, I don't know if you said no or Hari Bol. But because you're laughing, I'll continue. One day, Nimai was playing with his friends on the bank of Ganga, and a mother came by with a litter or a little group of puppies that were just recently born. Very nice little puppies. And the mother kind of went away, and the little puppies were up just kind of roaming around. And Nimai and his friends, they thought the puppies were so pretty. They were so nice. And they started playing with the puppies. And each one of them wanted a puppy. And Nimai took one of them. And some of the other boys said, why you took the prettiest puppy? Why you left the others for us? And Nimai said, it's not that he's my puppy. I'll bring him home, and we can all come to my house, and we can all play with him together. So they all said, yes, yes, let's do like that. So this is a really nice puppy. I don't know how many of you have been attached to puppies in your life, but this was a very nice puppy. And Nimai brought him home, and all the boys were together playing with the puppy. But one of the boys was angry. He said, Nimai, why you took the best puppy and not for us? And Nimai said to him, why are you always complaining and criticizing others? Why don't we just be united and play together? And this other boy said, because you took the best puppy. And he ran out of the house. And then Sachimata, meanwhile, was with her friends bathing in the Ganga. And as they were coming home, Sachimata was heading back to the home. This one boy ran up to Sachi Devi and said, your son Nimai has brought a dog into your house. A dirty dog, and he's playing with him. He's holding the dog on his shoulders and in his face. Sachi said, my son would never do that. He said, well, go home and see. So he went home. Sachi Devi came home, and there she saw little Nimai with the puppy on his head and the puppy on his shoulders, and he was playing with the puppy, and Sachi Devi was shocked. She said, Nimai, what are you doing? This is the house of a Brahmin. This is a house where we all make offerings to Lord Vishnu. This puppy is dirty. You are ruining the reputation of a whole family and dynasty of Brahmins who believe in suchi, cleanliness. And Nimai said, Mother, I like this puppy. He's so nice. Sachi Devi said, just eat some sweets. I have some nice kheer for you. Take this kheer, and then after taking the kheer, I'll massage your body with nice oils, and then go to the Ganga and take your bath, and I have some more, prasad for you when you come back, and we'll tie the puppy here, and the puppy will be here when you get back. He said, all right, the puppy will be here when I come back. She said, yes. Now go take your bath, and I'll have some nice preparations for you. So Nimai with his friends, frolicked down to the Ganga and took his bath. And he and his friends were playing with each other and splashing each other, and they played so many games. Lochan Das Thakur, who tells this story in Sri Chaitanya Mangal, he explains that as many games as have ever been created in the history of the universe, Nimai would play all those games every day with his friends. Now you may think, how is that possible? It's not possible for you or me. But for Nimai, everything is possible. The great acharyas explain that Ananta Shesha, with the 1,000 mouths that he has, and he's constantly chanting the glories of the Lord, even if for the entire span of creation, with all of his 1,000 mouths, he continuously chanted, he could not explain as many pastimes as the Lord would perform in one moment. That is Achintya Shakti. And the highest perfection of Achintya Shakti is not in how the Lord creates the universal creation, which is really inconceivable. Just think about the sun. Those of you who are scientifically oriented, how much bigger is the sun than the earth in size? Radhe Shyam Prabhu, you are the expert at these technicalities, yes? According to Radhe Shyam Prabhu, who has a master's degree at IIT, and who is the author of these incredible literatures explaining bhakti from a scientific point of view, 25,000? Radhe Shyam Prabhu is saying the sun planet is 25,000 times bigger than the earth. And in this whole earth planet, which is just 1/250,000th the size of the sun, what is Mumbai in size? And in Mumbai, where there's how many people, Radhe Shyam Prabhu? He knows how many are in Pune, though. Radhe Shyam Prabhu is authoritatively speculating that there are 2 crores of people. That's 20,000? 20 million. 20 million. How many rats? So, 20 million people in this little tiny speck of Mumbai compared to the sun planet. And yet, you know, who are we? We're one of those little people. Yes? And this body, and as far as you as the jiva, you're 1/10,000th the size of the tip of a hair. Hari Hari. God is great. And yet, when this one little 10,000th tip of a hair, the jiva, when you awaken love for Krishna, Krishna's conquered by your love. That's the power of love. That's the power of devotion. Mahatma. Mahatma doesn't mean physical size. Mahatma means love and compassion. That's what makes a person great. Because God himself becomes subordinate to the love of a devotee. So, Lord Chaitanya was playing with his friends, and splashing each other, and laughing, swimming around. And while he was gone, Sachimata untied the puppy. Because, you see, if we look into this lila a little deeper, Sachimata's a mother. So she sent the puppy back to his mother. But a little boy saw Sachimata do that. So he ran to the Ganga and yelled to Nimai, Sachimata untied the puppy and sent him away. Oh, Nimai was very angry. Nimai is the source of Lord Shiva. You know what happened when Kamadev tried to disturb Shiva and through his third eye he burned Kamadev to ashes? And little Nimai was angry. He came storming back, trembling in a fury, and saw that the puppy wasn't there. Said, Mother, where is the puppy? You know how much I love this little puppy. You know how much this puppy was giving me so much happiness. Why did you let go of this puppy? And Sachi Devi said, oh, where's the puppy? Puppy's gone. Puppy must have got away, but we will find the puppy. I'll find the puppy for you. Right now, Nimai, let me put on nice clothes for you and eat your kheer and eat your sweets and be happy. So then she put a sweet ball right in Nimai's mouth. And Nimai ate the sweet ball. And within a couple days, whatever happened to that puppy, it is revealed in the Holy Scriptures. That little puppy was in the middle of the town of Navadvip. It was just about this big. And he got on his back paws and lifted his front paws and started crying out the names of Radha Krishna. He was crying out, Radhe Govinda. Radhe Govinda. Radhe Govinda. Radhe Govinda. And as he was chanting the names of Radha Govinda right in front of everybody's eyes, torrents of tears were pouring from his little puppy eyes. And all of his hairs were standing on end. And puppies have lots of hairs. They were standing straight up like the thorns of the shamuli tree. They were standing up, and his limbs were trembling with a choked voice. That little puppy was, little puppies have high voices. Like they bark like. He was crying out, Radhe Govinda! Radhe Govinda! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna! As people were watching him, they were struck with wonder. He was inducing everybody to chant the names of Radha Govinda. And suddenly, right in front of their eyes, the little puppy, Radhe Govinda, fell to the ground, lifeless. He was dead, physically. What happened? Krishna tells us in Gita, Antakale chamameva smaran vakma kalevaram. One who remembers me at the time of death attains me without fail. Suddenly, a magnificent airship made out of celestial gold with beautiful domes descended from the spiritual sky. And residents of the spiritual world picked up this little puppy and put him on the airship. And right when he touched it, he manifested his original spiritual form, his Siddhadeha. They put him on a jeweled throne, and Gandharvas were singing, and Kinnaras were waving yak tails. And in his completely liberated body, the airship was bringing him back to Goloka Vrindavan, the spiritual world. And Brahma, Shiva, Narada, and all great devas, seeing this, enraptured, in amazement, were crying out the glories of Lord Gauranga. As a little child, Nimai, nobody even knows who he is. He's sending a baby puppy dog back to the spiritual world. We have never seen in any other avatar such an extent of grace. They had seen the Lord deliver demons. They had seen the Lord deliver great devotees. But to send a little dog back to Goloka Vrindavan, that's beyond liberation. That's beyond Vaikuntha. To be an eternal associate. The demigods were praying, will we ever be so fortunate as this puppy is to receive such mercy of Lord Gauranga? And sing the extent of the Lord's kindness. They celebrated Lord Gauranga's descent into this universe by loudly chanting the Holy Name. One day Nimai was naughty, and Jagannath Mishra chastised him. And that night, a very illuminating celestial personality in the form of a Brahmin appeared to Jagannath Mishra in a dream. It wasn't exactly a dream, it was a vision. He said, you do not understand. Your child is the absolute truth, the cause of all causes. He's the supreme personality of God, and he's the Lord of all lords. You should not chastise him like that. And Jagannath Mishra, in his parental affection, told the Brahmin, I don't know who he is, but all I know is he's my son. And if I don't teach him how to behave, how will he ever learn? This is the beauty of the Leela of the Lord, of how he facilitates his devotee to love him as a parent, as a friend, as a lover. One day, I think we should end here because it's 1:30 and there'll be other speakers also. But I'll tell one story. There was a sage who was famous for having the internal vision to tell a person who they was in their past life. He was a seer of the truth. So when Nimai was a little older, he was Nimai Pandit at that time, he came to that seer and said, Sir, please tell me, who was I in my last life? So the seer closed his eyes and chanted his mantra to his Ishtadev to reveal who is this boy in his past life. And suddenly in his vision, he saw a prison house. It was dark at the time of midnight, and he saw Vasudeva and Devaki on their knees with folded hands offering prayers, and he saw this beautiful form with 4 arms of the Supreme Lord illuminating all directions. And then he saw Bal Gopal, the worshipable Lord of the universe, going to the houses of the gopis, stealing butter and eating the butter. And then he saw, and he was praying, I'm seeing all these visions, Lord, but please show me who this child was in his past life. And then he saw Krishna in his Tribhanga, his 3-fold bending form, playing his flute. And this Brahmin, he was hearing the beautiful song of Krishna's flute, and he was crying, my beloved Bal Gopal, my worshipable Lord, you're distracting me so many ways. I want to do seva for this Nimai. Please show me who he was in his past life. And then he saw in his mind Ram sitting on a throne with Sita sitting beside him and Lakshman on the other side and Hanuman and Sugriva and all the monkeys offering beautiful prayers to him. And then he saw an incredible sight. There was the whole universe, and there was the Garbhodak ocean, and then emerging from the Garbhodak ocean was this gigantic, magnificent Lord Varahadev with the entire earth in his tusks. And then from that he saw, emerging from a gigantic pillar, Narasimhadev, with the head and the claws and the tail of a lion and the body of a man, tearing to pieces Hiranyakashipu, and then offering benedictions to little Prahlad. And the Brahmin was thinking, what? This has never happened to me. Who is this boy? Who is this boy? And then he saw this little from Narasimhadev transformed into a little boy who was holding an umbrella and a begging bowl, going up to Bali Maharaj and begging him for charity. Then that little boy manifested into a gigantic gigantic, magnificent fish, Matsyavatar, with a horn. And tied to the horn was the serpent Vashuki, and on the other side of that was a boat, and on the boat was King Satyavrat and all the great sages and rishis and different representatives of all the herbs and the species of life on the ocean of devastation. And then he saw Lord Balaram. So beautiful, with a complexion like a spring cloud. He had a club over his shoulder, and he had a plow, and he was scratching the river Yamuna, and he saw Yamuna Devi coming out before him with folded hands and surrendering. And then from there, Baladev transformed into his form, the Mahabhava Swarup of Balaram. He saw Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra giving their magnificent darshan, liberating the entire world with their own attractive, transcendental features. The Brahmin was seeing Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra worshiping him, and then he cried out. He was totally bewildered as he was worshiping Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra in his mind, in his heart of hearts. Nimai spoke and said, "Oh mystic, oh sage, who am I? Who was I? What are you seeing? Why don't you tell me?" The sage was totally bewildered. He came out of his trance and looked at little Nimai and said, "Let me analyze carefully and come back later today and I will tell you." Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki. Thank you very much. Quoting the mystic sage, "Please come back later today." And we will find out more. On this very, very holy day of Shri Gaur Purnima, please let us spend every moment of this precious day in the association of such sincere, blissful devotees, offering prayer, singing kirtan, offering japa, hearing the glories of the Lord, chanting the glories of the Lord, serving the devotees of the Lord, seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. It's a celebration, the ultimate celebration. It's a day of joy. Whatever hardships, obstacles, or sufferings we may be undergoing in life, that's a temporary thing. We should all be enthusiastic to help each other as much as we can through those trials. That is a crucial aspect of Vaishnava Seva, is to be there for each other. Maya is very strong. Sometimes she strikes. Sometimes we're strong. We may be weak. We should be there for each other, to help uplift each other. But today is the day that we celebrate once a year, especially when the Supreme Personality of Godhead descended into this world to give the highest benediction. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. To feel joy beyond the temporary situation of our little lifetime, to feel joy to know that the Supreme Lord came to give infinite hope and infinite liberation to infinite souls on this day. That is what we celebrate. And with deep gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, we celebrate his compassion for bringing that into our lives and for taking it on behalf of Lord Chaitanya to the whole world. Thank you very much.